I stood in the cramped fitting room of the H&M in downtown Seattle, staring at my reflection in the mirror, the fluorescent lights buzzing overhead like a swarm of angry bees. The dress I was trying on clung awkwardly to my frame, a reminder of how out of place I felt in my own skin these days. Suddenly, the curtain rustled, and a clerk with fiery red hair and a name tag reading Poppy slipped in, her eyes locking onto mine with an intensity that made my heart stutter. "Excuse me," she whispered, her voice barely above a breath, leaning in so close I could smell the faint vanilla of her perfume. "I know this sounds crazy, but I've been watching you shop here for weeks. You're Hope, right? From the university? I think you're the one I've been dreaming about." My mind reeled, the words hitting like a punch to the gut. Dreaming about me? I barely knew her face, let alone her name until now. But there was something in her gaze, a raw vulnerability that pierced through the armor I'd built around myself, the one forged from years of hiding who I really was. I froze, my hands trembling as I clutched the dress hanger. "What do you mean?" I managed to stammer, my voice echoing strangely in the small space. Poppy's eyes darted to the door, as if afraid someone might overhear, then back to me. "I saw you at the Pride event last month, but you left before I could talk. You're studying sociology, focusing on queer identities, right? I read your article in the campus paper." Spoke to me, Hope. It spoke to the part of me I've been burying. Bearing. That word resonated deep inside me, stirring up the storm I'd been trying to suppress. My family back in conservative Idaho expected me to graduate, marry a nice guy from church and settle down. They didn't know about the late-night thoughts that kept me awake, the ones where I imagined a life free from their expectations. And now this stranger Poppy was pulling at those threads. "I can't do this here," I whispered back, glancing at the mirror as if it might betray us. But she didn't back away. Instead, she reached out, her fingers brushing mine ever so slightly, sending a jolt through my body. "Then meet me after my shift. Coffee shop across the street. Please, Hope. I need to know if this is real." The rest of the afternoon blurred into a haze. I bought the dress without trying anything else, my mind racing with questions. Who was she? Why me? And why did her words feel like they were unlocking a door I'd nailed shut? As I stepped out into the rainy Seattle street, the drizzle soaking through my coat, I couldn't shake the feeling that my carefully constructed life was about to unravel. I arrived at the coffee shop early, nerves twisting in my stomach like knots. The place was crowded with students tapping away on laptops, the aroma of espresso grounding me somewhat. When Poppy walked in, out of her uniform and in a simple jeans and sweater combo, she looked even more approachable, more real. She spotted me and smiled, a tentative curve of her lips that made my chest tighten. We ordered lattes and found a corner table, away from prying ears. "I'm sorry if I freaked you out earlier," she started, stirring her drink absent-mindedly. "It's just, I've been struggling. My parents are devout Catholics, and they think being gay is a sin I can pray away. I've tried, Hope. God, I've tried. But then I read your piece on internalized homophobia, and it was like you were writing about me." Her confession hung in the air, heavy and unfiltered. I nodded slowly, my own secrets bubbling up. "I get it. My family's the same, evangelical, small-town values. They sent me here to find myself, but only in the way they approve. Writing that article was my way of testing the waters, but I didn't expect anyone to actually read it, let alone connect like this." As we talked, the conversation flowed easier than I anticipated. Poppy shared stories of her high school years, sneaking out to gay bars in the city, only to return home riddled with guilt. "I dated guys to fit in," she admitted, her voice cracking, "but it never felt right. It was like wearing someone else's skin." I found myself opening up too about the crushes I'd had on girls in my dorm, the ones I dismissed as admiration. But deep down I knew it was more. By the time we finished our drinks, the sun had dipped low, casting long shadows through the windows. "This feels dangerous," I said half to myself. Poppy reached across the table, her hand hovering near mine. "Maybe it is. But isn't that what makes it worth it? Facing the fear." That night, lying in my tiny apartment, I replayed every word. Dangerous. Yes, it was. My scholarship depended on maintaining a spotless image, and my parents checked in weekly. If they found out. I shuddered at the thought. But Poppy's face lingered in my mind, her whispered words in the fitting room echoing like a promise or a warning. The next few days passed in a whirlwind. We texted constantly, innocuous messages at first, then deeper ones late into the night. "What if we could just be us?" she'd write, and I'd stare at the screen, heart pounding. I started noticing things about myself I'd ignored. The way my eyes lingered on women in class, the discomfort when friends talked about boyfriends. One evening, Poppy invited me to her place, a small studio in Capitol Hill. "Just to talk," she assured me. But as we sat on her couch sharing a bottle of wine, the air thickened with unspoken tension. "Tell me about your family," she prompted, and I did, pouring out the pressure, the expectations. "They think I'm straight A hope, the perfect daughter. If they knew." She listened, her expression softening. "Mine disowned my cousin when she came out. I can't lose them, but I can't lose myself either." We talked until dawn, our words weaving a fragile bond. As I left, she hugged me goodbye, and in that moment I felt a spark. A terrifying, exhilarating spark. But reality crashed in soon after. My roommate, Sarah, noticed my distraction. "Who's the mystery person you're texting?" she teased. I brushed it off, but inside panic brewed. What if word got back to my parents? They were planning a visit next month. The thought of disappointing them, of shattering their image of me, gnawed at my insides. Poppy felt it too. "We have to be careful," she said during our next meetup at a park. "My job retail isn't much, but it's mine. And if customers complain..." We walked hand in hand under the trees, hidden from view, but even that felt risky. Society's eyes were everywhere, judging, condemning. As the weeks went on, our connection deepened, but so did the conflicts. I skipped a family call to see her, lying about a study group. The guilt ate at me. Am I betraying them? I wondered aloud one night. Poppy held me close. Or are you finally being true to yourself? The first rail crack appeared during a dinner with my friends. We were at a trendy spot in Belltown celebrating a birthday, when someone brought up dating. "Hope you're single forever. When are you going to find a guy?" they joked. I laughed it off, but inside it stung. Poppy was waiting for me afterward, and as I recounted the evening, her face darkened. "They don't know the real you," she said, pacing her apartment. "How long can you keep this up? Pretending for everyone else's sake?" Her words hit hard, stirring the doubt I'd been pushing down. "It's not that simple," I countered. "My parents pay for half my tuition. If they cut me off..." The argument escalated, our voices rising in the quiet space. "You're using them as an excuse," Poppy accused, her eyes flashing. "What about us? What about what we have?" I felt cornered, the walls closing in. And what do we have? Stolen moments? Hiding like criminals? We parted angry, the silence between texts stretching into days. In those days, my mind was a battlefield. Part of me yearned for the safety of my old life, the one where I fit neatly into expectations. But another part craved the freedom Poppy represented. I threw myself into studies, writing papers on societal pressures on queer youth, each word a reflection of my turmoil. Then came the reconciliation. Poppy showed up at my door with flowers, her expression contrite. "I pushed too hard," she admitted. "I'm scared too, Hope. My family. They suspect something. My mom keeps asking why I'm not dating." We talked it out, forgiving each other. But the underlying tension remained. Our relationship evolved in fits and starts. We went on secret dates, picnics in secluded spots, movies where we sat in the back row. Each time the thrill mixed with fear. What if someone sees? I'd think, scanning the crowds. Poppy was bolder, holding my hand in public once, but I pulled away, heart racing. The pressure from family mounted. My dad called, excited about introducing me to a nice young man from church during their visit. "He's perfect for you, Hope. Stable, faithful." I mumbled agreements, hanging up with a knot in my throat. That night I confessed to Poppy, tears streaming. "I can't do it. I can't pretend anymore." She pulled me into her arms. "Then don't. Come out to them. We'll face it together." But the idea terrified me. The thought of their disappointment, the potential rejection. It was a chasm I wasn't ready to cross. Society's weight pressed down too. At work, Poppy dealt with snide comments from coworkers about those types. One customer even complained after seeing her rainbow pin. "It's not safe," she told me, voice weary. "But I won't hide who I am." Her resolve challenged mine. I started questioning everything: the ethics of lying, the cost of authenticity. Was staying closeted a betrayal of myself, or a necessary survival tactic? The debates raged in my head, keeping me up at night. Then a turning point: Poppy's birthday. I planned a surprise, booking a cabin outside the city for a weekend getaway. It was our first time truly alone, away from eyes. We hiked trails, shared stories under the stars. "This is what life could be," she whispered, her head on my shoulder. For a moment the world faded and it was just us. But even there doubt crept in. My phone buzzed with messages from home, reminders of the life waiting. What am I doing? I thought, staring at the ceiling. Risking everything for this? Upon returning, the bubble burst. Sarah confronted me. "I saw you two at the park last week. Are you?" Her tone was curious, not judgmental, but panic surged. "It's nothing," I lied, but she pressed. "Hope if you're gay it's okay. But hiding it will destroy you." Her words echoed Poppy's, forcing me to confront the truth. That night I told Poppy about the confrontation. "See? People accept it," she said hopefully. But I wasn't convinced. Acceptance from friends was one thing, family was another. The conflicts intensified. Poppy wanted to go public, attend pride events together. We can't live in shadows forever. But I resisted, fearing repercussions. Our arguments grew frequent, each one chipping away at our bond. One explosive fight ended with Poppy storming out. "If you're ashamed of us, maybe we shouldn't be together." Her words cut deep, leaving me alone with my thoughts. Was I ashamed? Or just terrified? In the silence, I reflected on the moral maze. Deceiving my family felt wrong, but so did denying my feelings. The choices loomed, each with its price: lose them or lose her. Lose myself? Days blurred into a haze of indecision. I avoided Poppy, burying myself in work. But the ache grew, a constant reminder of what I stood to lose. Finally, I reached out. "We need to talk." We met at the coffee shop where it began, the familiarity bittersweet. "I'm sorry," I started. "I'm scared, but I want this us." She nodded, tears in her eyes. "Me too. But we have to be honest, at least with ourselves." That conversation marked a shift. We agreed to take it slow, supporting each other through the storms. But the external pressures didn't vanish. They simmered, waiting to boil over. My parents' visit approached like a deadline. I rehearsed speeches in my mind, weighing the words. "Mom, Dad, I'm gay." The thought sent shivers down my spine. What if they rejected me? Cut me off? The ethical dilemma tore at me. Was honesty worth the pain? Poppy faced her own battles. Her parents invited her home for a family gathering, hinting at setups with men. "I can't keep dodging," she confided. But telling them, it could end everything. We leaned on each other, our bond a fragile lifeline in the chaos. The visit arrived sooner than expected. My parents flew in from Idaho, all smiles and hugs at the airport. "You've lost weight, honey," Mom fussed while Dad clapped me on the back. "Proud of you, kiddo." Straight as again. I nodded, forcing a smile, the weight of my secret pressing down. We spent the day touring the city, Pike Place Market, the Space Needle. They chatted about home, church friends, the nice young man they'd mentioned. "He's eager to meet you," Dad said over lunch. I choked on my sandwich, mumbling excuses. Inside, turmoil raged. "Tell them," a voice urged. "Lie," another countered. That evening in my apartment, the tension peaked. Sarah was out, leaving us alone. Mom noticed my distraction. "Something on your mind, Hope?" I hesitated, heart pounding. This was it, the moment to choose. I have something to tell you." The words tumbled out. "I'm gay. I've been seeing someone, a woman." Silence descended, thick and suffocating. Mom's face paled, Dad's jaw tightened. "What?" he barked. "This is a phase. You've been influenced by this liberal city." Mom burst into tears. "We raised you better. What about God's plan?" Their words stung, confirming my worst fears. I defended myself, voice shaking. "This is who I am. It's not a choice." But they weren't listening, hurling accusations of rebellion, sin. The argument escalated. doors slamming as they left for their hotel. Alone I crumpled, sobs racking my body. Had I made the right choice? The pain was excruciating, a raw wound. Poppy rushed over when I called. "You did it," she said, holding me. "I'm proud." But her comfort felt hollow amid the wreckage. "They hate me now," I whispered. She shook her head. "They need time. Like I did." The fallout was swift. Dad texted the next day. "We're cutting your allowance. Think about what you've done." The financial blow hit hard. I'd need to find a job, juggle more hours. But worse was the emotional void, the sense of loss. Poppy's situation mirrored mine. Encouraged by my coming out, she confronted her parents during their gathering. "It was a disaster," she told me later, voice breaking over the phone. "They called me a disappointment, said I'd burn in hell." Her mom had even suggested conversion therapy. We commiserated, our shared pain strengthening our bond. But cracks appeared elsewhere. Friends reacted mixed. Some supportive, others distant. At school, whispers followed me, judgmental stares and lectures on queer theory ironically amplifying the irony. Society's prejudices reared up too. Poppy lost a shift at H&M after a coworker outed her to management, claiming it made customers uncomfortable. "It's discrimination," she raged. We considered fighting it, but the energy was draining. In the midst of this, a betrayal struck. Sarah, my supposed ally, gossiped to mutual friends, twisting details. "She said you're confused," a classmate told me. Hurt, I confronted her. "Why?" She shrugged. "I thought they should know." The trust shattered, leaving me isolated. Poppy and I clung together, but the strain showed. "Maybe we rushed this," I said one night, doubts surfacing. She looked wounded. "Do you regret us?" "No, but the cost was mounting." Family rifts, financial stress, social ostracism. The moral quandaries deepened. Was coming out selfish, inflicting pain on loved ones? Or was staying silent a greater sin, denying one's truth? I journaled endlessly, seeking answers in the void. A glimmer of hope came from unexpected quarters. A professor, sensing my distress, offered counsel. Society changes slowly, but individuals can lead the way. Her words inspired me to join a support group for queer students, where stories of similar struggles resonated. Poppy attended too, finding solace in community. "We're not alone," she said, a spark returning to her eyes. But challenges persisted. Her parents stopped calling. Mine sent Bible verses via email, passive-aggressive reminders of their disapproval. Then a major confrontation. Dad showed up unannounced, demanding I come home and get help. We argued in my apartment, voices echoing. "This isn't you," he insisted. "It's that girl influencing you." I stood firm. "Her name is Poppy and I love her." The word slipped out, love. It hung there, shocking us both. He left in anger, but not before warning. "You'll regret this." Alone I pondered, did I? The freedom tasted bittersweet, laced with loss. Poppy's response when I told her. Tears of joy mixed with fear. "I love you too," she whispered. But love didn't erase the hurdles. We faced practical decisions, moving in together to cut costs, but that meant more commitment, more risk. As months passed, the drama unfolded in waves. Poppy's job loss led to a lawsuit, backed by a local LGBTQ organization. The publicity was double-edged, empowering, yet exposing us to hate mail online trolls. I took a part-time job at a bookstore balancing classes. The exhaustion built, testing our relationship. "We fight more now," I admitted during a therapy session we'd started attending. The therapist nodded. "Trauma bonds you, but healing requires work." Indeed, old wounds festered. Poppy's trust issues from past rejections made her jealous when I talked to female classmates. "Are you sure you're committed?" she'd ask. I reassured her, but resentment brewed. "You're projecting your fears onto me." One night it boiled over. "Maybe we need space," she said, packing a bag. Panic surged. "Don't leave." But she did, staying with a friend. The separation was agony, forcing self-reflection. Was our love strong enough to withstand the storms? In the quiet, I confronted my choices. Coming out had cost family ties but gained authenticity. Betrayals hurt but revealed true allies. The ethical tightrope, right versus wrong, blurred. Perhaps there was no absolute, only personal truth. After a week, Poppy returned. I can't do this without you. We reconciled, vowing to communicate better. But the world kept testing us. Healing was gradual, marked by small victories. My mom reached out tentatively, a phone call laced with awkwardness. I don't understand, but I miss you. It wasn't acceptance but a crack in the wall. Dad remained silent, his absence a shadow. Poppy's family was harder. Her dad blocked her number, but a sibling secretly supported her, sending messages of encouragement. Baby steps, she said, though the pain lingered. We threw ourselves into activism, volunteering at pride centers, speaking at panels. It gave purpose to our struggles, turning personal pain into communal fight. But exposure brought dangers, harassment at events, threats online. Is it worth it? I wondered after a particularly vicious comment. The answer came in moments of quiet joy. Cooking dinner together, laughing over bad movies. This is us, Poppy would say, and I'd believe it. Yet Mouthwandowduk persisted. A friend from home visited, outing my secret to extended family. Chaos ensued. Uncles calling, condemning. You've shamed us, one said. The guilt resurfaced. Had my choice ripple affected harm? Poppy faced a similar dilemma. Her lawsuit progressed, but it meant dragging coworkers into court, potentially ruining lives. Do I drop it? She agonized. Or fight for justice? We debated late nights, weighing revenge against forgiveness. In the end, she settled out of court. A modest win but closure. Letting go is strength, she decided. Inspired, I wrote letters to my parents, explaining my journey without demanding approval. I hope one day you'll see me. Responses varied. Mom replied with cautious warmth, Dad ignored. The asymmetry hurt, but I pressed on. Our relationship deepened amid the trials. We celebrated anniversaries quietly, reflecting on growth. Remember the fitting room? Poppy teased. I smiled. How could I forget? You shocked my world. But shocks continued. Poppy's ex, a guy from her straight phase, resurfaced, claiming he could fix her. You're confused, he messaged. She blocked him, but it rattled her. What if he's right? She whispered one night. No, I said firmly. Society plants those doubts. We're real. Reassuring her strengthened me too. Then a major betrayal from within. A support group member, jealous of our visibility, spread rumors about infidelity. Poppy's cheating, whispers circulated. Trust frayed. Is it true? I asked, heartbreaking. She denied vehemently. It's lies to tear us down. We investigated, tracing it back, confronting the perpetrator. Why? She shrugged. You two seem perfect. It hurts to see. The incident highlighted community's flaws, internalized hate manifesting as sabotage. We withdrew slightly, focusing on us. As graduation neared, decisions loomed. Stay in Seattle? Move elsewhere? Poppy dreamed of San Francisco, more accepting. But I hesitated, tied to roots. Leaving feels like running, I said. Or starting fresh, she countered. The argument revealed deeper fears, her of stagnation, mine of abandonment. Compromise. We'd apply for jobs coast to coast, decide together. But the process stressed us, applications piling up. Amid this, a family crisis. Dad had a health scare, hospitalized. Mom called, pleading I visit. He needs you. Torn, I flew home, Poppy's blessing in my ear. Go. Heal what you can. At the hospital, tension crackled. Dad looked frail, his eyes avoiding mine. Glad you're here, he muttered. We talked haltingly, about weather, not the elephant. But as I left, he grasped my hand. I don't agree, but you're my daughter. It wasn't full acceptance, but a bridge. Back home, I shared with Poppy. Progress. She smiled, but envy flickered. Wish mine would. Her own awakening came via a letter from her mom. Praying for you. Cryptic but open. Maybe time heals, I said. The high tension built toward a climax. At a pride rally, we spoke publicly about our story. Midway, protesters heckled, throwing slurs. Security intervened, but the fear lingered. This is the price, Poppy said later, bandaging a scrape. Was it? The question haunted. Sacrifices for visibility, safety, peace. But the impact? Emails from youth inspired by us. You gave me hope. Balancing scales tipped. We chose to continue cautiously. As summer waned, we moved in together, a bold step. No more hiding, Poppy declared. The domesticity brought normalcy, but conflicts arose. Chores, finances. You're spending too much, I'd snap. You're controlling, she'd retort. Therapy helped navigate. Relationships are work, especially under pressure. A final twist. Poppy got a job offer in New York. It's my dream, she said. But mine was rooted here. Go without me? The idea gutted. Debate ensued. Weaken long distance. But I knew it wouldn't work. Or I come with. Uprooting meant leaving budding reconciliations. The choice loomed, ethics at play. Self-sacrifice for love, or self-preservation. In the end we compromised, she deferred, we planned together. But the strain showed cracks. The ultimate test came unexpectedly. My extended family organized an intervention, luring me home under false pretenses. We need to talk, they said upon arrival. Surrounded by aunts, uncles, cousins, they preached repentance, quoting scriptures. This lifestyle is wrong. I stood my ground, voice steady. This is my life. But inside doubt flickered, were they right? Had I chosen sin over family? Escaping, I called Poppy. Come home, she urged. The flight back was a blur of tears. They'll never accept, I sobbed in her arms. Her response. Then we build our own family. Poignant, but the loss ached. Society's backlash peaked when our story went viral after a podcast interview. Support poured in, but so did hate, death threats, doxing. We went underground, changing numbers, avoiding public spots. Is this living? I questioned. Poppy, ever resilient, said. It's fighting. But fatigue set in. Arguments flared over trivialities, masking deeper issues. Maybe we're toxic together, I blurted one night. Hurt flashed in her eyes. Do you want out? No, but the pressure was crushing. A moment of clarity. We took a break, separate vacations. Alone in a cabin, I reflected on the journey, from that fitting room whisper to now. The shocks, betrayals, awakenings. What price authenticity? Reunited, we talked honestly. We've paid dearly, Poppy admitted. Family rifts, lost friends, constant fear. But gained love, self-respect, I added. The resolution came gradually. Families softened. Mine invited us for holidays, awkward but trying. Poppy's mom visited, tears and hugs bridging gaps. Society evolved too, laws protecting, community strengthening. Our story inspired change, a ripple effect. Yet scars remained. The moral ambiguities lingered. Was the pain justified? Did we choose right? In quiet moments we'd ponder. No regrets, Poppy would say. I'd nod, but questions persisted. As we built a life, careers, home, perhaps future plans, the drama faded, replaced by steady rhythm. But the awakening was profound. Love demands sacrifice, truth exacts a toll. Looking back, from that shocking whisper to hard-won peace, we traversed hell. Was it worth it? The choices, the damages? In the end, one must ask, is denying one's true self ever the right path? Or does authenticity, despite the chaos it unleashes, ultimately lead to liberation?